What's up, my brothers and sisters on the continent? I'm hoping, that this message, man, these thoughts, man, is getting to my brothers and sisters on the continent. I don't care if it's just a few of y'all, man, pass the message, pass the thought on. This message must get to the brothers and sisters on the continent so they can continue the rise of Africa, by the young people, those who want to be free, those who want to be independent, those who want to be self-sufficient, those who want, to develop their country so everybody can benefit off the natural resources of their country and their land. Pass this message, inform those who are not informed. Get to those who can't get the information they need, to be a part of this African rising, this revolution, of getting rid of not only their former colonizers, but also those who have conspired with them, who look like you, who have been in leadership roles, keeping the conditions of their country stuck in the same conditions of division, bogus wars, disease, impoverishment, cultivating a poor mind, a hateful mind, a self-hateful mind, miseducation, not developing their country, to benefit the majority, but only to benefit the few who able to maintain in power because they're able to spread those to those who support them staying in power, and so this message got to get out to those who don't have no phones, those who can't get the information like some other brothers and sisters who are in those countries and developed countries or in those cities who have able to have the access to phones. And so they're able to hear me talk, they're able to hear other African brothers talk and get that information, and get out there and participate and they rise and they getting rid of this bad leadership, this wrong leadership, getting rid of their former colonizers, knowing that now is the time to take the accountability and responsibility to develop their own country, develop their own way, to chart their own path, to shape their own system, that's going to benefit everybody on the continent or whatever country you're in. That's why I don't advocate United States of Africa, I advocate United Countries of Africa, because until we able to get the leadership, even the ones who now in those former or French Western colonized countries that now have finally been able to break free of their colonizers and rid their colonizers out their country, even in those good situations and those inspired leaders, that then took the action to do that, they still govern their countries. And they're not able to get into a mindset where they understand that even right now, Mali, Guinea, Niger, I can't say Gabon because, Gabon haven't really, the leadership, military leadership there really haven't identified themselves as being a removal of a family, that's been tied to maintaining that system that helped the former colonizers be able to rob and pillage the country and keep the country in a condition where the people are weak, starving, and poor, and allow for them to get all the riches and also give some of the riches to those who are in leadership, which is that family, to maintain that lock grip. That military having shown that, hey, they ridden themselves of not only their family, but also those who they didn't dealt with to keep their country locked in like that. They haven't showed that spirit, They haven't showed that great sacrifices that it's going to take to be able to stand up to the power to be. They haven't showed, you know what I'm saying, that spirit that they willing to put their life on the line for their people and their country. They haven't shown that. So I can't speak to that country, but I can speak for those countries like Zimbabwe. You know what I'm saying? You know, who I've always been in it because of Mugabe. You know what I'm saying? Mugabe, you know what I'm saying? I can say, you know what I'm saying, you know, in his later times, later ages, have stood up to the Western powers, you know what I'm saying? And they had to endure, the people had to endure the great isolations, not only from the Western powers, but from, say, own African brothers and sisters on the continent, not the people, but the leaders, you know what I'm saying, who had put sanctions, you know what I'm saying, and went along with the sanctions from the UN, the EU, and the Western powers, you know what I'm saying, on Zimbabwe, because Zimbabwe was getting rid of all the lag over their neo-colonialism, those who want to colonize and keep their country in control, you know what I'm saying, and have a white control on all the economic riches and land of their country. You know what I'm saying? They wanted to get rid of that and put that control in the hands of their people, put that development in the hands of their people. To be truly free, you got to be able to be truly free and be completely independent. You got to be able to be truly free to say, we're not going to operate your system. We're going to operate our system. You know what I'm saying? We're going to lead our people the way our people need to be led, where all the people can benefit. And we're not operating in a system that it's a hypocritical system, a system that caters to allowing you to rob our country, a system that caters to allow for the leadership to get the benefit long as they maintain this system that keep their country weak, keep them starved, keep them diseased, keep them fighting, divided, and distracted, you know what I'm saying, while their country don't develop. And so Zimbabwe is one of those countries, you know what I'm saying, you know, and so those brothers not there in leadership mind to say that, hey, we need those who have truly said they're going to stand up, even if it means their life, they're going to stand up. They haven't really, you know what I'm saying, gotten the mindset to understand that, hey, even though it's not the whole continent, it's only a handful of those countries have done that. You still got to come together. You still got to unite. You still got to have that unity amongst yourself. So y'all got to come together as and form a certain leadership or certain structure that binds the countries who have taken on the great risk, going to take on the great sacrifice. Because it's going to take great sacrifice, not just from the leaders, but from the people, to have to go through what they have to go through in order to be completely free, in order to be able to be dependent, self-sufficient, not relying on the West, not relying on the East, not relying on Russia. But when you make your deals, you're making your deals in the benefit of your people. You're making your deals from a fresh start because you done created your own system. So the old system, you're not obligatory to that, to those deals. Because true revolution does away with that. It says, hey, that system that was created wasn't for the people. The people didn't agree upon those deals. The people didn't agree upon that leadership. It was imposed upon them. Those deals was imposed upon them. So a complete and real revolution says, out with this old system, in with a new system. That's a revolution. That's a real revolution. Therefore, now, when you do a real revolution, you ain't buying to those deals. But if you skirt and play a game and keep the Western system and play in your system, now they can say they bind you because you still operating under this system. You still operating on this democracy. You still operating on this parliamentary system. So them deals that was made, you got to be upheld to those deals. They can make that argument, even though it might not be just. They can make that argument, my brothers and sisters. So don't go halfway with your revolution. Like I heard some great brothers on these platforms rightfully so and truthfully speak, in order for you to be a leader, you got to be willing to die. You got to be willing to die. You got to be willing to sacrifice your life, sacrifice your time for the people. Not for yourself, not for your ego, not for your arrogance, not for your selfish ambitions. You got to be willing to sacrifice your life and your time for the people. Because for all these years, your country has been undeveloped. And it's been purposely done this way, premeditatedly done this way. So you got all these years that this has been done. So the people, not just the leadership, got to understand the great sacrifice. They got to understand they got to be willing to die. They got to understand they got to be willing to sacrifice their time, their effort, to make sure this revolution is successful. The people got to be willing to also make that sacrifice. And what you got to lose? That's the question you got to ask yourself as people who have already dealt with the hardship of poverty, already dealt with the hardship of hunger, already have dealt with the hardship of lack of education, who already have dealt with the hardship of dealing with diseases, already have dealt with the hardship of warfare, being removed from their home, being removed from certain environments to flee from oppression and warfare. What you got to lose? This sacrifices in the benefit of you and your future generation. This sacrifices in the benefit, the shaping of your country the way you want your country to be. That it benefit everybody. So everybody got to put an effort in how they want their country to be. So I call it the United Country of Africa because right now, the individual countries are trying to focus on developing their country. They can't unify if the mind don't see the need to unify, in the sense that, hey, the unification don't start with waiting for everybody on the continent to wake up and overthrow their former colonizers. You can't wait on Nigerian people. You can't wait on the Ghana. You can't wait on Senegalese. You can't wait on Cameroon. You can't wait on Togo. You can't wait on these other African countries to get rid of those bogus bootlicking leaders and they former masters. You can't wait on them. Those who are already in the transition got to understand it got to be some type of binding unification of these countries to work together. It make it more easier, my brothers. And I want the brothers who out there who got these platforms to get that out. It's more easier when you have the countries who are sincerely working in the benefit of their people to unify now, to come together, to collaborate, to develop their countries, to bring about a new system, a revolutionary system, a socialist sense of a system that rallied the collective force in the spirit of revolution, in the spirit of change, in the spirit of development, or the spirit of knowing that the collective have to sacrifice. The collective have to continue to lay down their lives for to bring about self-sufficient, to be independent of those outside forces that have used those countries to develop their countries. to make their people safe, secure, have food, have education, to strengthen their military so they can gain supremacy over other countries. They have used the continent in a diabolical way to make it like the continent just completely corrupt. The continent is completely uncivilized. The continent, they don't know how to rule themselves. They have diabolical painted this picture of the black man and woman on that continent as being a people who can't develop their countries. They can't lead their people. They don't know how to feed, educate. They don't know how to protect their people. So we had to come in, create bases, bring our military to fight for them, bring our UN to bring in food to feed their people, bring in medical people to give them health care, bringing in all these different religious missionaries to educate them. This is what they betrayed of the continent, my brothers and sisters. We got to reject that. We got to say no to that. We got to unify.
An incarcerated individual at Illinois
Come together.
Western Illinois Correctional Center.
This is my thought, my brothers and sisters, for the day. I got to answer this call. I hope y'all get the message. Keep striving. Keep bringing that unity and that rise. Peace.